Oops. Okay, so do you ever have that feeling? Well, after you've done the color code, of course, that you say, or whatever, you do a training and you go, oh, right on. There's all this amazing knowledge that I'm getting out of this training. But then all of a sudden you stop and you go, what the hell do I do with all of this training? What's the next step? What am I supposed to be focusing on? So that's what's really great. So we've been talking about the color code, and honey, I'm ready to give you that next step. Hey guys, it's Zandra, your life coach, your guide to everything better in your life. How about that? That's what I like to feel like. I've been helping ambitious professionals, individuals, corporations, teams, companies, you name it, reach their biggest goals, set goals, figure out what they want most in their life and why it's important to them. So that's, my darling, what I'm here to help you with today. All right. So what is this all about? We've talked about the color code in the past, and this is my number one tool that I use to create change in my own life, in the life of other people that I work with. It is just truly an amazing tool. And you can look back in other episodes to get a really breakdown. But as always, I like to give you a little starter point. So the color code is what we call a core motivation personality assessment, a core motivation assessment. And what the deal with this is that it really helps you dig in. We ask you when you were a little kid. Why? Because that's when you were your greatest, smartest, most powerful, most interesting, most colorful, brightest. And you really were your true self until all the other junk of the world started getting into your head, right? And which started to make you doubt yourself. It started to make you be afraid of putting yourself out there, or really being you, being who you want to be, right? So that's what's exciting about this color code, is it really helps touch base into that 8-year-old. And that's what we tell you, is to go back to when you're an 8-year-old and do the color code. And you break down into a red, which is the core motivation. The core motivation is red, is power, moving things from A to B. Your blues, they are all about intimacy, relationships, connection. My whites are about peace, internal and external peace. And my yellows were all about fun, enthusiasm, and excitement, and bringing that yellow to the world, right? And but that's the big question that people they go, wow, that's really great that I know what I am, and that I can start to maybe a little bit know what other people are. But what do I do with that next? That's the biggest question that I get. And oh my God, that's what's so exciting. Dr. Hartman, Taylor Hartman, has brought out the second part, and it's called the character code. Because that's really, when we talk about what we think about people, how we feel, if they're trustworthy, if they're honest, if they are open, if they're however their core motivation is showing up for them, they're powerful, they're directive, they're a great listener, they care a lot, they have attention to detail. These are really things that we're talking about. Your character is the way we describe it, right? So your character is really how your core motivation shows up in the world. And like everything, and when we talk about in the color code, there's healthy and there's unhealthy behaviors. There are strengths and there are limitations for everything in the world. And so that's really what the character code is about. It's about digging deep into who are you, but what do you do with that? How do I show up? How do other people see me? Because that's great that I'm a yellow blue, and that I am super emotional, and that I love to help people, and that I want to connect with people, and I want to entertain you, and I want to train you. Hence why I'm an entertainer. And both of those motivations come out. But how do I know if that's really, I think that everyone loves it, but how do I know? How do I know if it's effective? And it's not about everybody loving it. It's really about, am I communicating effectively? Because to me, that's really what the color code is about. It's about being able to communicate in the world as effectively as you can. But how do you know that unless you can really look at a mirror? And our personalities are hidden to us a lot of times. And if you've ever heard of the Johari model, the Johari window, that's something within the color code, but I won't get down there. But that's what we talk about, what's hidden to ourselves and what is visible to other people. And that is a lot of times is our personality, unless we're a white, and then generally people aren't sure what the heck we're thinking about. But anyways, that's a story for another day. So your character is really about how your strengths and your limitations of all of your code shows up in the world. And really what the character code is about, because people will say to me when they do the color code, Zan, I've changed so much. I'm not that person that I was when I kid. I'm this person now. And that's really what the character code is about. It's that connection between our 8-year-old self, where our core motivation comes, who we really are, what's really important to us, and all the experiences that have brought us into who we are today, right? This version of myself. And that can be healthy, that can be unhealthy. It can have limitations, it can have strengths. And everything I want you to think about is a spectrum, right? That's how we get stuck. That's why people really don't like personality assessments, to tell you the truth, because they think it's going to say you're good or bad. And it's not about that. It's about what is that spectrum between your strengths and your limitations. What is holding you back from getting everything that you want? And what is pushing you towards that goal faster than you know what to do with? Does that make sense? So that is what the character code is. The color code is about who am I, what motivates me, who am I really at inside. The character code is who am I today? How do my core motivations show up for me as a 28-year-old today, right? We're just going to say that. And what does that look like, right? And the biggest thing with this, so when you do the color code, it's your own assessment. You do you, right? You put down how you reacted and how you felt when you were an 8-year-old. The character code is a really cool tool because it's a 360 assessment, which means basically you get as many people that know you well to do this assessment. So the first one, I send you a link, you do the assessment. This one, you're going to get a link, but you're going to be sending it to other people. So it could be your boss, it could be your coworkers, it could be your family members, it could be your friends, it could be your baseball team, it could be your volunteer group, it could be somebody from your cultural group or your church group, it could be, right? It could be teachers that you've had or instructors. Heck, if I'm your coach and I know you well, you could ask me to do it, right? If we've worked together and I know you. The goal is to get as many people as you can to fill out this assessment. And what it is, they're just doing the color code for you, if that makes sense. So they're talking about their experience with you and how they see you showing up. Do they see you showing up as a yellow, a red, a blue, or a white? And what do they see as your strengths? And what do they see are the things that you need to work on? And then you get all of these results together. I get them and it gets summarized all into this report. So don't worry about it. If you're scared, you're worried about what are people thinking about me and saying about me, don't worry about it. I'm going to get the results. And I don't even get the individual ones. I get a summary because really one or two people, that's hard. They're going to have really differing opinions and it may not give you any feedback. But if we can get you to do 8 to 15, and I know that may seem like a lot, but I promise you, people love doing these little assessments when it's not about them. So you won't have a problem. People are going to love it when you say, could you do this assessment for me and tell me what you think about me, how you think I show up in the world. And then you basically get this amazing report again that gives you areas of how other people show up. Maybe that strengths and limitation thing, what's working, what's not working in terms of your communication with other people. Hence, how you are moving through the world and what you're getting back from the world. So it can be scary. Don't worry about it. I've done it. It's scary. But I'm telling you, it is the most interesting and useful piece of information. I'm not saying that other people's opinion is all that matters. What matters is how you are taking your personality, your skills, your abilities, bringing them out into the world and offering them to the world. And it's like me as a coach. That's why I have a coach. That's why I work with Stacia. Because I need to be able to see myself truthfully, because most of us want to beat the heck out of ourselves, right? Let's be reasonable. Let's be real here. It's really hard. And if you've got imposter syndrome, if you've got low self esteem, you may be like me and just assume that everything, well, the blue in me assumes everything in me is crappy. The yellow in me thinks, are you kidding me? What wouldn't you love? Who wouldn't love this, right? So again, I've got this internal struggle with myself where I'm constantly wondering, is this good enough? Am I strong enough? Do people like me? Is this something I can sell? And really, I used to think it was low self-esteem. But really, it's my core motivations arguing with each other. My yellow is who cares what other people think? I care what I think, and I think I'm awesome. The blue in me goes, yes, but what other people think is really important, and you really need to measure that with your own mindset. So your blue can be that negative Nelly in your voice a lot of times, right? So I really I need other people to help me see the real me sometimes, right? And not the ones that are beating heck out of me, not the ones who don't see me for the true me. The ones that I believe care about me and want the best for me. And that doesn't have to be my best friends. That doesn't have to be people I love. It can be just people that I believe respect me, that are able to see me clearly, aren't overwhelmed or just like kind of hero worship. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's funny when I'm on, this is kind of like TV to people. So sometimes I get there and they're like, oh my God, it's you. I've run it. And I just chuckle because I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of pressure. I'm just here sharing my experiences and my stories. But those, sometimes I probably wouldn't want to send them something because they might not see all the hard parts of my personality, and they just see this one-sided, but I know you see more, so you're going to definitely get one of my assessments. Okay, so I may be reaching out to you shortly, hon. Okay, I'm going to redo my character code because I've changed, and that's the thing with the character code. As you grow, you can do the character code again. Color code, no, you don't do it more than once. Character code, you can grow and change. People will say, I've changed so much. The character code is what takes into account for that. And so I'll give you an example for myself, how I show up. So like I said, since I've known that I'm yellow, I'm like, I'm going all in with yellow all the time. I am just so excited. I'm so happy. But the fact is, I had somebody, an elder that I know, a group of them, say, what are you, some kind of used car salesman? And they were kind of joking and they were kind of serious. And why? Because I'm a pusher. And when I get excited about something and when I have a great idea, I want everybody in on it. Well, if I'm just selling to you with my bells and whistles and it's amazing and emotion and all that, if you're a red, you are not buying into my crap at all. If you're a white, you may or may not buy into it, but more than likely, you're just going to play along with me. With blue, you're going to look and go, do I believe you? Because if I don't believe you, then no, I don't believe any of your bells and whistles. I think you're going to do a crappy job, even though you're saying all the right things. So even this, I don't know how I'm showing up to you. I hope I'm showing up in a way that works for you, right? Because I don't get a lot of feedback. That's why I ask you all the time, because I love you and because I know you got my best interest at heart. But otherwise, this is just a one-way street. And a lot of times that's what assessments are. You look at yourself and you go, oh, look at me. I'm this, I'm green, I'm gold. If you've done True Colors, or you may be ENTP or ENFP, or if you've done Myers-Briggs or the 16 personality types, right? Like there's all sorts of different ones. But I really want you to take them all. I should say, and I want you to take them all, because I believe that really what's important about these assessments, what's important about the color code, it's about self-awareness. And that's really the first part of your journey in this, is to become truly aware of yourself, to see yourself truly as you are, and not to beat yourself up, not to hero worship yourself, but to really go, what are my limitations? What are my strengths? And how do I show up so that I can make the biggest impact for myself, my family, my friends, my clients, the world. Because that's what a yellow blue wants, and a blue yellow. We generally just want to change the world and make it have an amazing time. But if I'm not really looking carefully at myself and looking carefully at you so that I know what you want and how to talk to you, right? Getting to those facts and figures for my reds who are on there going, when is she going to stop and just get to the heart of it? But that's really what the heart of it is. The color code is me as an 8-year-old, my true motivation. The character code is me as an adult. And how is my true motivation showing up in the world? And that's why it's often I find, and I'd love to know if any of my people have taken this before. Well, I know you do because you tell me that you can't believe you're a white. I can't believe I'm a yellow when you first start doing the assessment. And then once we walk through it, you remember who you are. And you go, yeah, I guess I do that. I just don't do that anymore because of this, right? Because of all the stuff, the cares, the little worries that have gotten in our way over the years that hide and create this fog in front of us and create this voice of doubt in our mind that tells us that either we're too good, because there's some people that don't realize that how they show up. I'm just talking more about the one side, which is myself, which I don't often realize, like, oh, geez, this is going to be good. And if I worry so much, right? That's the blue in me. I want to do a good job. The other side is there are people out there who think, wow, I don't understand why I'm not getting the job or the partner or why that opportunity doesn't happen. Other people are just lucky. I'm not lucky. So my people who believe that out there, I am a true believer. There's random luck where you just randomly are in the right spot. You randomly bought a lottery ticket and you won it. You randomly met somebody somewhere, right? Like there's random luck. But that's a very small part of luck, okay? Because the fact is you had to put yourself in that spot to even find that random luck. So I truly believe that luck is us showing up in our best way, using our best communication skills. So when that opportunity comes up for you to meet that person, whether it's going to be your future funder of your business, your future partner, a business or lover, or whatever, or your next mentor, or your next coach, or your next client, you want to make sure that you are communicating in a way with them that is going to pique their interest, that's going to make them lean in hard, because that's what this is about, right? We don't want just a little bit of Nancy Patsy connection with people. I want to be in love with people. I want to make big connection with people, and I want to make big change in this world. And I hope that's the reason that you tune in to watch this, because that's all that I'm about. I'm here to live my best life, to feel, right? To feel like I've never felt before. And I'm telling you, it's happening. It's here now. Hold that thought. Make sure you get your caffeine daily. So, like I said, especially whatever color you are, that's what's important, is for you really look at the strengths and the limitations. I think people really jump into the color code, and it's really about finding out, wow, I'm motivated. What am I motivated by? That's a huge thing, because in this day and age, we walk around in a fog, a lot of us, not knowing, looking for direction, right? What do I do? What's the right thing? Which way do I turn? Which is the best opportunity for me? Who should I hang out with? What sport should I take up? Which job should I do? Should I take that course? Like, there are so many questions in our lives. And I'm telling you, if you have not done the color code and you haven't done the character code, I don't know how you're making any decisions, because to me, that is the number one thing that the color code and the character code have helped me, is with my decision making. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like I said, I used to just want to surround myself with yellows who just wanted to have fun all the time and wanted to talk, but you don't get any business done that way. And also, me as an employer, I need to be able to turn my own red up, because it's great until it's not great anymore, until I'm not getting my job done, you're not getting your job done. Neither one of us are satisfied about what we're doing anymore. So it's really important for you to know and how you want to show up in different situations. And I always want to show up with wearing my heart on my sleeve, and everyone's my best friend. But that isn't the safest way to show up all the time, especially in business, especially if I'm trying to buy something from somebody. Is why? Because that's exactly what a seller wants, is somebody who's blindly buying without even questioning what they're selling or anything. And that's my go-to fault. And I'm really working on turning up my red and my white so that I'm more analytical and less emotional. So that is a real life example of how the character code and what I'm really looking into is, another prime example of my yellow and my blue getting in the way. I've had two clients now that have shortchanged me, ripped me off for money. Yeah, two companies in town, and I didn't do anything about it. I didn't take them to small claims court. I didn't call them up and have it out with them. I just let it go. And it's horrible because at the time I was like, oh, well, what's the big deal? But now, a couple of years later, it really was a big deal. And it's still a big deal because the fact is, I'm still talking about it. And that's why you need to deal with stuff, because it sticks in your head. And that's what I'm doing, is that junk is taking up space in my head. So ladies, if you're wondering if I've forgotten about it, I haven't. And I will be reaching out to you again at some point, because who would I be if I didn't, right? I wouldn't be living what I'm practicing what I preach. So stay tuned, my friend. Be worried if you owe me money and all of a sudden I'm reaching out to you, okay? Sorry, turning up the red in me, right? Um, but I mean it. It's not a threat. It's for real. And that's the thing. That's what I mean. I want to give you those examples because that's something. The blue and the yellow in me was like, I got hurt feelings. And really, I didn't want to put in the effort to go take them to small claims court, even though both of them deserve it. And man, I'm going to go check those dates, right? Because that's what we do. There's part of me, let it go. But at the same time, that's part of my struggle is, oh, well, it's no big deal. Oh, well, it's no big deal. And that's good up to a point. But then you just start getting taken advantage of, right? So you really need to tune in. Those are just some of my own real life examples of where I don't believe that I stood up for myself, and I'm regretting it still today. And I don't want you to have any regrets. I want you to live with a whole open heart. I want you to be excited about tomorrow. I want you to know what it is that you want in your life. Right now, I'm going to tell you what I want. I know well enough, and that's what we're working on, is I know I'm a motivational speaker, but I've always been a little afraid to go outside of my comfort zone. So right now I'm working on sending out a speaker profile to some really big companies. There's no company too big that I'm going to apply to. So yes, I will be applying to Apple and to be their keynote speaker. I am going to be reaching out to a couple of international speakers bureaus where people go and they find speakers. Why? Because it's time. Because I've been kind of hiding and playing small, and I'm always like celebrating my yellow, but my yellow blue really wants to show up in a big way in the world. And it's the unfulfilled actor in me. I am just tired of waiting for something big to happen. I am here to create that big thing in my life. Why? Because I know who I am. I can see now, because of the color code, because of the character code, I can see myself and I know what I need. I know what I want. And because of the work I'm doing with my emotional intelligence on the social awareness and the social management part of it, I'm starting to tune in more into the world, and I'm able to see what the world needs, right? Why? Because this is a time where you need to get self-aware. You need to get real with yourself and get out of your own way, because that's what I've been doing. I push forward a little bit, and then if I don't get the results, I go, oh geez, that's not for me. I'm quitting. I'm done with it. And it's the blue in me, because I don't want to. I'm a perfectionist, and if I'm not doing it perfect right off the bat, if it doesn't work immediately, I'm like, oh, that's not for me. Right? It is for you. It is for me. It's for all of us. We have got to keep pushing through our fear, people. Right, my darling? That's it. It's about our fear. And I'm here with you. We're going to hold hands, baby, and we are marching through this fire. Because I hope you're tuning in here because you want more in your life. or maybe you just want a little Zan energy. Either way, I don't care. Get ready for it because it's going to be like drinking Zan energy out of a fire hose, okay? Because I don't have time anymore. I know myself. I've done my work. I've realized what the masses want. They need me to show up just like they need you to show up in whatever way, shape, or form you want to serve the world. Okay? And that's what this is about, my friends. It's really leaning in hard to who you are and who you want to be, right? Where are you at now? We call that a gap analysis in business development. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what's the path to get there? Color code is where am I? And really, the color code is almost both sides. Where was I and where am I now? The character code is where do I want to go? And it's the path to get there, if that makes sense. So that's at the heart of it what the character code is. So it's a secondary piece. I've actually got some people I'm reaching out to now. So if you've done the color code, because I know we've been talking a lot about people like, yes, Zan, because I've had thousands of you that have done it with me. It's exciting time. It's ready. So the character code, you can do it as a group thing. So we can do it as a team activity where you've got a group of people already that you want to do it with each other. But we can also do it as an individual. So you say, Zan, I've done the color code. I want to do this next piece. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't know how I'm showing up in the world. Or I am the volunteer coordinator of the PAC committee, and I'm just not sure. I'm not getting the buy-in that I need from people. What do I need to do? Well, don't worry about it, honey. That's the thing. Reach out to me and we are going to get you set up with a link, which then you're going to send out to anybody and everybody that you really care about their opinion. I guess that's the way I should say it. If you care about their opinion in a healthy way, send them the link. And then I send them out a letter, like you'll send it out to them, but I give you a letter that you send out. So it explains what it is, how to do it. And then they do it. They click a link and it gets sent back to me. And then you and I get together in a coaching session or in a team session if you're doing it with a team. And we go through your results and we create an action plan for you so that you can show up the way that you want to show up and really look at, is the way I'm showing up serving my goals? Is it serving what I am doing? Is this what's holding my team back, my goals back, my dreams back? If so, what the heck do I need to do to get moving through this? All right? Yes, I love it. I hope this was of some benefit to you, that some interest to you. I want to hear from you. Anybody that's taken the color code, you are going to be getting an email from me soon. So don't worry about it. Let me know if it's something you're interested in. If you just want to do the assessment, no problem. You don't even have to go through the other things. If you just want to get the report to see what your subordinates think of you, there's lots of different ways that we can do this. But ideally, I would love to walk through your final report with you and create an action plan with you, right? What's your game plan to up your leadership skills? Because if I wanted to say really what is the character code about, it's about enhancing your leadership skills, personal leadership and people leadership skills, right? Personal and professional leadership skills. You get to see both sides of it. Neither one of these is just for work or just for home or just for anything. So, you ready to up your leadership? Are you ready to get what you want? Because, honey, today's the first day of the rest of your life, right? It's time to do these things, okay? It's time to do your thing, chicken wing. Because life's passing you by one way or the other, just like it's passing me by. Alrighty, so go check out my website, reach out to me, comment below if you want us to reach out to you. Just say color code, character code, more info, whatever you want, let us know. And don't worry about it. If you're not sure and you just want info, we will just give you info, all right? Honey, I am so busy right now that it's almost impossible to squeeze anybody in before the new year. But I want to make sure that we're here for you and we're serving you. So if this is something you need, please get a hold of me sooner than later because, man, time is a ticking for you and for me. Okay? Mwah! Come and visit me. Come check my website out. There are coaching links. There are consult links. There's just free resources on there for you. So come on over and check me out, zandraross.ca. Have a fantastic week, my friends, and thanks for joining me on Just the Tip Tuesday.